It's not a matter of being weak or lazy, and it's not about lacking the willpower or knowing what to do. It's that at some point they quit making things that reminded them that they're unique and their voice still mattered. They stopped connecting with the part of themselves that transforms the chaos into form, or emotion into meaning, or pain into something just beautiful. When creativity fades, something within us drops too. So the rest of this video today, I want to tell you why I believe creativity isn't just self-care. Not just an artistic expression, but the greatest antidepressant, the greatest anti-anxiety medication on the planet, and it's free. Why I think creativity is the quiet miracle that no one taught us to honor, respect, to live. Why it heals people who think they're beyond healing. Why it brings back light in places where hope has been silent and dormant for years. Because creativity, real creativity, where your suspension and everything is the thing that we abandoned first and the thing we needed most. People think that creativity is optional. It's a luxurious car. It's a awesome tool. It's a side quest. But here's what I've seen working with the people in some dark times of their life. Creativity is a neurological power. It is the air, the unbelievable saturated oxygen air. It's an internal reset button. It's how the mind catches its breath when nothing else works. You don't create because you're inspired. You create because your nervous system needs the reminder. The reminder that there's still something inside of you capable of forming something. Creativity interrupts anxiety by forcing your mind into the present moment. It's not possible to ruminate and overthink when you're fully embodied in a creative project, however simple. It steadies the body, it softens the shame, quiets that negative voice. It transforms hopelessness into possibility. People aren't drowning and lost because they're weak. They're drowning because they stopped grabbing to reaching out for what they did before that work. The act of making something. And maybe you're saying, hey, Ryan, I'm not a painter. I'm not a photographer. I'm not anything. I'm not even creative. I don't even know where to start. I don't have the space. I don't have your tools. And what if I make something that sucks? What if it's terrible? What if people laugh? That's the lie we learn from the world that celebrates the consumption, the end result, the fame, more than the act of creation. A world that tells you to grow up too soon, which actually means stop doing the things that keep your soul and who you are alive. Creativity is the closest miracle we touch with our bare hands. It teaches our brain how to hope again. It reminds us. It reintroduces your heart to possibilities that never existed before. It reminds you that your story is not over. It's just in the middle. And suddenly something deep shifts. The posture changes. There's things that happen that you're not aware of, whether or not you believe it is something or your definition of spirituality. There's something ancient and human in creativity. It's not because the art was good or the two-sentence poem, but because they get the reminder that they can create even a little bit. Creativity is the most underestimated SSRI, antidepressant, anxiousness concoction on the earth. This quiet, free medicine, the forgotten formula, the spark that reboots a system that's been stuck in survival mode, fight or flight, for too long. In the last 5 years or so, during this sort of turbulent world, I've watched and heard family and friends say they're no longer interested in anything. They've lost their spark, even if it looks like they're doing something. They say, "I feel like I'm fading away, Ryan." I've heard women say the same thing, men say the same thing. "I don't recognize myself anymore." And almost every single time when we go back, trace it back, we find the same thing. They stopped creating not because they didn't care or didn't want to, but because life asked too much of them. Responsibility replaced wonder because of survival suffocated their creative expression. I've seen this countless times in myself. In my darkest times, or I'm just lost and I'm ruminating or I'm trying to procrastinate to get something done, trust me, if a musician picks up an instrument that they haven't touched in a long time, it relaxes them and loosens them, even if they don't remember or don't have the calluses to play a chord. A woodworker picks up a board and finds their breath. A videographer captures some unique light and feels grounded for the first time in years. People don't realize this, but when you stop creating, you silence the part of your soul that knows how to survive the darkness. And when you start again, even awkwardly, even inconsistently, your nervous system begins to settle down. The sympathetic, the fight or flight, will let the parasympathetic, which is the relax and digest, come in. Your identity realigns and your story reopens, maybe even in a more powerful way. Because creativity just doesn't heal emotion, it heals your presence. So I have a favor to ask of you. Open the door a tiny bit and let that creativity back in. Not as a job, not as a pressure or a performance, but just to let you breathe that beautiful oxygen of creativity. Let yourself experiment again with anything. Don't buy anything. Use whatever you have. This isn't something you need to show someone. In fact, don't. Let yourself play again. Let yourself make something that you don't really plan to impress anyone, not even you. Start with a scrap paper, a sentence, a sketch, a woodblock, some house paint, a random photo that you weren't planning to take, a video clip of some cool lighting hitting the kitchen counter. Not to achieve anything, but to remind yourself you're still capable of creating something new. Because once you begin creating, something deep and subconscious and ancient opens up inside of you and shines light and quietly says, "I still exist. I'm unique and I'm not done." We're not finished. So here's my challenge for you. Let's make this happen. Give yourself 5 minutes a day, just 5. Not someday, not when inspiration strikes, not when you have the next tool. Just spend 5 minutes creating something. Anything. I would start with 5 lines. Find a pen in that drawer and draw 5 lines on any piece of paper. It's preferably smooth. Write 1 sentence that is an attempt to make a poem. Capture 1 moment in light or sound with your phone. Not because it's good. In fact, I want it to be bad. Not because it's award-winning, but because your anxious nervous system needs proof that the real awesome you is still alive and not just watching your life go by. Just 5 minutes. That's the challenge right there. The smallest possible step toward the biggest part of who you are.